Oh, wow. Okay, Stu's flexing. What
It
did
is
you?
time. It is time. And
All
of
right,
course, Susan makes us all sharper. So
that is
thanks,
true.
thanks to Susan and
Um,
Nancy.
well, you know what time it is, Stu? It's time to get ready to get offended because morning I will more than likely offend you at some point.
Oh, thank you.
There you
Thanks for the
go.
warning.
I should really start every day with that at home. So, what's new, Stu? What's been going on? You've been doing a little training in the mornings.
Yeah, all a whole bunch of training. Got some guys that are doing various great things. Marines and SEALs and Air Force guys.
Cool.
Yeah, good stuff.
Well, I do notice as I'm running up and down the dark road here that I'm the only one running up and down the dark road here.
So
And I don't know if that means I'm weird or if it just means that other people aren't doing what we do or
you know what it means, Jim? It
what.
means you're the fastest guy on your road.
If you could see some of the old timers that live here, without even doing a test, I can tell you I'm the fastest guy on my road. So there you go. So Stu,
Yes.
got a couple of things that we want to talk about today.
I love it. Let's do it.
And we've got some things that are going to lead into some other things.
Hmm.
And so I think we're just going to jump in and I'm going to ask you a question. And that question is, Stu, when I say to you, it's possible to make money when you sleep, what does that mean to you? Like, what would that take?
Well, first of all, just want to let everybody know we did not rehearse any of this, by the way. So this is us. Um, I would tell you this: I've been making money while I sleep for over 20 years now, and
Uh-huh.
it was. I remember the momentous occasion
Hmm.
when it occurred, and I came down in the morning, checked my news store, and I sold my first ebook overnight. It was automatically downloaded. I didn't have to do anything. I just woke up and saw money coming into my bank account. And I ran upstairs and I said, I sold my first ebook. I was very excited.
Uh-huh.
And that was,
And what
you
was
know,
the reaction of the people that you were saying this to?
um, I think they were like, "Hey, that's cool," but they didn't really quite grasp
Yeah.
the significance of it. That I didn't have to, grab it from a box, pack it up, put it into a uh, stamp it and take it to the post office to mail it. It was something that just came out the other way. Now, the other way that I made money while I was sleeping
Hmm.
is I actually hired a printer and distributor service
Hmm.
to do all my books. So that is just, yeah, it costs a little bit, but it saves you a lot of time. Once I did that, I was saving 3 hours a day of my day, able to make money while I sleep at just a little bit more of a cost.
Right. And I remember when you did that.
Yeah, that was huge.
That was a big one. So really, the two ways that you make money while you sleep are basically delivery and checkout of electronic stuff and then fulfillment of physical stuff. Now, there's other stuff you can do as far as, if you wanted to have a service or
Oh,
something
sure.
and somebody else was doing it. But the gist of it is that you have systems in place that do work for you and take the money, deliver the thing, make the sale, or fulfill the thing that you sold with the system that sells the thing. So when some people hear the phrase make money while you sleep, they think, oh, I still think of back in the 80s, guy named Don Lapre, God rest
Oh
his
yeah.
soul. Okay. But he had this infomercial which was basically little ads, big profits. I run these little ads in my local newspaper to test them out. I might only make $20 or $30 off each ad, but then I distribute these ads across 1,000 newspapers and the checks just start raining in, and checks are falling down and stuff. That's while I sleep. You always got to throw that last little tagline on. And the problem is that when you hear that, make money while you sleep, it's an amazing thing, but it also can have a negative connotation if you don't understand really what's going on. And if you want to make money while you sleep, no matter pretty much what you do or who you sell to, there's a specific pattern that you have to follow in order to set it up so that actually happens. And Stu, for example, let me ask you a couple questions. Who is your main target audience? I think you actually have two, but who are your two main target audiences?
It's young men and women who are preparing to serve
Okay.
in some tactical profession,
Okay.
military, law enforcement, firefighters, as well as those who are later in their career, 40 years over, 40 years plus in age, and are needing something a little bit different in order just for longevity. So,
Right.
yeah.
That's really nice. That was nice how you said that. Not old guys who put on weight and their joints hurt and they need to get unfat before they blow it for the rest of the second half of their life. Well done, Stu.
Thank you.
So, Stu, what's kind of your story real quick as to why you're the guy who's qualified to help both of those groups? Don't
Well,
be
first of all,
bashful. Give us a little bit of detail instead of
I've
just
been
the
both.
usual. Okay.
I have been both. One
Okay.
as a young person preparing to serve and realizing I did it all wrong in hindsight,
Hmm.
learned how to do it properly. Um, Went on to become a member of Navy SEAL program and did that for 8 years, and then I got out and became a full-time coach because I still saw people not preparing properly for a similar journey. And then 20 years later, when all those aches and pains from athletics and spec ops training and just doing tough things come back to say, "Hey, remember me?" Um, and I feel pains in my shoulder and my back and my leg and my ankle,
Uh-huh.
um, and how to deal with that as we age into, the post tactical career part of your life.
Okay.
So,
That's great. So that's your story. And then what is really the result that you're promising to deliver to these people? What is the result that you're offering the young men and women, and what is the result that you're offering the 40 plus tactical athlete?
um, a system that helps them with their strengths and weaknesses to get to and through the
Hmm.
training, right? The to and through their goals, achieve those goals throughout their career using the same system,
Hmm.
and then later changing the system just enough to make it more applicable to what they're doing post tactical career life and add a little more life to their years on the back end.
Okay. And I will say that I think I was there when you made that transition, because when I started with you, it was 5, 6 days a week of running straight into a brick wall. And then one day I was like, dude, and you were like, dude. And so you were like, hey, I invented Mobility Day. I was like, yay. That, and that, but that I watched that evolution and I
Yeah,
played a small guinea pig part in that.
you did.
I'll give this to Jim and see whether he squawks or not. Um, so that's the result that you're promising. How do you deliver the result? How do you help people actually get that result? What are the deliverables?
Well, I have books and ebooks that they can buy that are generic versions of that
Okay.
programming and system. And then I also do more personalized approach with online coaching where every week they get a new program a week for me, and their feedback helps me create the next week. And, that system goes on and on for as long as they want to do that.
Okay. And so you have books, ebooks. Have you started doing anything else recently?
Oh, yes. I have created a course and working on my second course
Okay.
this week. I already got half of it done. So,
And how does the price on the course compare to a price of a book?
um, it's about 5 times more.
Oh, okay.
So my course is like $100. My books are like $20.
Okay. So, and then as far as the delivery, the actual making money while you sleep part, how do you physically deliver these things or digitally deliver these things so that you're not a part of that having to send out emails and do all that stuff?
It's just part of my system on Shopify. Depending on what they buy, they get this email. They get the ebook download email, or they get the book email saying, "Hey, it's going to be 5 to 6 days before you get the book." And then the other one is, "Here's the links to the course." So yeah.
Okay. So everything's automated. So what I want to tell y'all is that Stu just revealed the entire framework and is living the entire framework for making money while you sleep. Now, do you all want to actually see what that framework looks like? I can draw it out here for you, but Stu is living this framework. But did you know, and I'm going to show you the framework, and then we're going to talk about where people get jacked up and why this has worked for Stu. And Stu's had a very, very successful multi-figure, multi-six-figure business for the last 2 decades. Okay. And by the way, you don't have any employees, do you?
No.
Do you have an assistant?
No, my wife helps significantly, but I
Okay.
outsource everything. My
Okay. But you don't,
accountants. Yeah.
yeah, you don't have a full-time staff. You don't have employees. You don't have any of that stuff. You're a one-man band sitting in your basement with cool stuff behind you making this happen.
That is
Okay.
correct.
So here's what the business looks like. And I'm going to draw this out. Actually, I'm just going to, let me get myself a little bit of extra room here. Because I want to make sure I got as much room as possible. Okay. All this process starts with who. The who of, and I'm going to take over the whole screen just for a minute, Stu, okay?
Okay.
But you're still talking. I just want to make sure everybody can see this. So it all starts with who. It starts with, then the who is made up of you and them being your ideal customer avatar. So what you notice is that Stu's very clear on who he is. Stu's very clear on who he is helping. Now he has 2 groups of people, but in the beginning he had how many groups? 1. You didn't start going out, and you could still talk, Stu. I mean,
Yes.
I'm not,
One.
you had 1 group, and then he grew his second group. The guys he was beating on for 20, I mean, the individuals he'd been helping for 2
Yeah.
decades that needed some help transitioning to the next level of life. Real clear on the who. Not talking about, oh, I want to make money while I was asleep. What shopping cart system you using, Stu? Oh, when Stu's first starting out, Stu didn't have Shopify, didn't have nothing, had a web page.
Yeah.
Okay. But got real clear on the who. It's kind of like I love the Go Ruck stuff where people are, oh, that guy made it through a heavy and a light. What boots did he wear? Who gives a crap what boots the guy was wearing? How did he train in order to be able to survive 48 straight hours? Okay. Get real clear on the who. And then Stu's real clear on what's the result I'm promising these people. So in this case, the result is how to get to and through tactical profession, or how to transition to that next level of lifestyle where you're still very athletic, but not beating yourself. But what I want you to notice something here where these intersect, and this might be hard to see, but Stu's story is 100% congruent between himself, the avatar, and the result. If Stu hadn't been a Navy SEAL, if Stu had not done it for 8 years, if he hadn't trained the guys at the Naval Academy, if he hadn't gone and gotten his coaching certificate and all that stuff, the story is incongruous. The story is what sells the result to the who. Stu's a great guy. His sales copywriting has gotten better over the years. I've seen dramatic improvement in sales copywriting skills for Stu, which means in the beginning, his sales copywriting was good, enough to make some sales. It was good.
Yeah, it was not great.
But the story was carrying it.
Good point.
And the story was super strong. So when we came in, did stuff like, different covers and, other stuff like that, sales take off. Okay. But if the story is not there, all the stuff that who's your copywriter? Who'd you get? What kind of graphics? How's your funnel set up? Ooh, what's your, nobody cares because it ain't going to work. The story has to be congruent about the result, which means you really have to have been getting the result, and it has to make sense that you're one to help him get the result. Next, once he knows exactly, I'm messing up my colors here. Once Stu knows exactly what result he's promising, then you figure out the offer. Okay. How am I going to get these people this result? Am I going to do a class? Am I going to do a book? Now, the most basic packaging is a book, but Stu even said, hey, I got books, but now with a course, I'm getting 5 times as much money as I am from a book. Oh, and let me ask you a question, Stu. Which is faster to create, a book or a course?
Oh, yeah, definitely a course.
But your courses are based on your book, right?
Yes.
Okay, so course, 5 times as much money. You can't teach everything in the book. So let's say it's the 10% that gets the 90% of result. This right here is what some people talk about when you're really getting crazy. This is the opportunity that you're offering people. So the result and the offer, that's the opportunity to serve in potentially as a SEAL, to be a Green Beret, to get a job at the FBI, to do all the things. It's the opportunity to be an older person, but have flexibility and strength and still look good in your bathing suit and feel good and have high self-esteem. That's the opportunity. Okay. That's the offer is, I'm going to show you how to do this. And actually, I jumped ahead on this a little bit. So I need to move this down through the power of my cool board here. All right. The offer is flexibility. It's service, flexibility. That's the offer. Okay. It's the offer of the result. Now, down here is the actual delivery. Okay. That's the, we're going to give you a course or a book through Shopify or whatever you're using, and it's going to happen automatically. This is what some people call the vehicle, because Stu can get you the result with a book. He can get you the result with talking to you on Zoom. He can get you the result with a course. So it's the offer could be the same, how to get to Buds, but the delivery, the vehicle could be a book. It could be a course. It could be a live training program with him 5 days a week in Maryland, where if you don't live there, you can go live in a van down by the river. Or you can do, Stu's got all of it. He's got all the different stuff. He's got courses, he's got coaching. So the vehicle is this, the offer is this, the result is tied in with that. It's a little muddy here, but the gist of it is that Stu knows who he is. He knows who they are. Real clear on who he is and the result that he can get them. and his story is what sells it, and their story becomes Stu's story because they want to be Stu. Now, we can get all metaphysical about frames and other stuff like that if you've ever heard about frames and stories. And what's really going on here, if you want to get all meta, is that Stu's story absorbs their story because his story, his frame is so much stronger than theirs that it overpowers it and he owns it now. So now they want to get this result of being a Navy SEAL, being all this stuff. And so the offer is, I'll show you how to train. I'll show you how to get ready. I'll show you how to get to and through. And that's really what the offer is. I'm going to train to and through. Okay. Stu's a man of few words. I've seen him make 20 guys puke with a piece of cardboard. Not with the cardboard, but what he wrote on the cardboard. Today's workout is pain. So, result, offer, delivery, and story, opportunity, vehicle. Here's the problem. If this stuff isn't right, none of this stuff matters. If this isn't right, none of this stuff matters. If this isn't right, none of this stuff matters, but this is what everybody focuses on, and that's why you ain't making no money. That's why you're always confused. That's why you're always upset. That's why you're always chasing the bright, shiny object. That's why it's not working, because you're focused down here instead of getting right up here. That's why. So if you want to make money while you sleep, you better get real clear on the who, meaning who you are, who they are, the result that you can help people get. Make sure your story is 100% congruent and makes sense to them to the point where they buy into your story 100%. Figure out what the offer is to help them get the result. That creates the opportunity. Then and only then do you figure out, how am I going to deliver that for the highest level of return on investment? What vehicle am I going to use? And what I will tell you, as someone who has published, I can't even tell you how many books. You know, it's funny, 20 some odd years ago when I met Joe Vitale, part of his bio was author of too many books to list here. And I'm like, that's BS. That's a bunch of crap. And now I'm like, yep, author of too many books to list here, because I can't even remember them all. Okay. So love you, Joe. Shout out, brother. But books are what you use to establish authority and credibility, and to potentially start your funnel. But if you really want to make money, and the stuff that I've really made money with over the years has been some form of course, either a single course lesson, 60, 90 minutes long, or a set of courses together to make a big ticket offer. I paid off my house with a course. I bought my first waterfront estate with a course. I bought the beach house where my wife lives now and lets me live with her. Bought that with a combination of a book, a course, and software. Okay. But and by the way, a course can be created a lot faster than a book. Oh my God, Jim says books suck. No, books are awesome. Here's my latest one. You can pick it up on Amazon. Okay. Books are amazing. And books and courses work together to make you money while you sleep. So, Stu,
Yes.
come on back into the thing. But I mean, this is how you make money while you sleep. And when I was asking you that stuff, and you're like, well, this just kind of makes sense. The whole thing makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
But it all starts up here. Everybody wants to start down here.
That's a really good point. Another way I get to that delivery part too is content with articles. I post articles and social media posts, and that is a way that gets people to those books and to those courses and to the coaching.
Yep. And you run ads too.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So articles, social media, ads.
Yep.
You also do email, because you got a list of people that you've built up. Yep. news, updates.
In fact, instead of and here's something you should consider: if you're going to send newsletters to people, and you look at the open rate and it's like 3%, change it up a little bit. Here's what I did. I got tired of that. I was like, man, why do I have all these emails? Nobody's even open it, right? Because I've been there.
Mhm.
What I decided to do is come up with a weekly summary of everything that I created that week. Right? I created 3 articles. I created a live Q&A video or a podcast, and then I created a workout that I did that week, a beginner and an advanced one. And now I make people pay for that newsletter instead of getting this newsletter for free. They sign up for that newsletter and they pay for it.
Is that like $100 a year or something?
No, it's $30 a month.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, I send it out once a week, but I save it all into this membership site where they have access to 5 years of those emails.
Okay. So they're paying for a digest. They're paying
Basically,
for,
yeah.
well, hell, Susan's doing that for free on Sundays. I think we probably, she's like, where my cut?
No, it's just a good way to, like, a lot of us get frustrated with, sending out emails and, not seeing the response. It does help. You can make
Absolutely.
it just another, source of income.
Well, here's the thing. We're delivering the result. You just expanded our universe here. Not anywhere did I say anything on here that had to be paid. See,
No,
people will
it's
pay
true.
you with money, but they'll also pay you with time. And before they'll pay you with money, they first have to pay you with some time
It's a good
or
point.
attention. Okay. So it's still, whether we're talking about a free offer or a paid offer, it's still who, story, result, opportunity, offer, vehicle, delivery. That is the slippery slope that you have to go through to check all the boxes. But here's the thing. If you got the who real good and the story's real good, the rest of this can be muddy as hell and half-assed, and you're still going to get a great result or a pretty good one. Because if that story is super strong, people will beg you to buy. Great example. I just paid a guy $7,000 to work with me doing some mindset coaching and some other stuff based on YouTube videos I saw him doing. And I'm like, I just gotta be around this dude. I just gotta be around this dude. I reached out to him and offered him money. He had no website. None of this stuff was set up. No offer, no nothing. I created an offer.
Damn, nice.
Okay, because the story was so strong. This is what y'all got to understand. But everybody wants, oh, I got to work on my offer. Hang on, Chuckles. You got your who nailed? You got the result nailed? Does your story make sense? Because that offer don't mean nothing. Okay, so I love to use the example of, hey, man, did you know there's a lot of women in the world, Stu? Like 52% of the world is women. There's a lot of them. Every single one of them is going to go through menopause. Huge market, Stu.
Oh yeah.
You got education, you got medical devices, you got supplements, you got all this stuff, right?
And I'm just the guy to coach them through it.
I'm just the guy to be the expert on that. I got no medical degree. I got a degree in history.
I'm not a woman.
I'm not a woman. And no matter what anybody says in the news, it ain't happening, even if I decided I was. And so I might be perfect on identifying this, the result, the offer, the delivery. The story's not there.
No.
The story's not there. It's all struggle. But here's the other thing. We're getting all kind of meta on this, but I just really want y'all to understand this. When you and the avatar and the story and the result are in perfect harmony, that's also when you're going to be happy. Okay, part of making money when you sleep is being able to sleep. Because some people, you're right. Going with this, because if you're stressed out about your business, if you're always on edge and you're chasing that next thing, and it's just a giant promotion, You ain't making money while you sleep. You might make some money, but you're not going to sleep very well. But if you know who you're called to serve, whose heart you're called to touch, your story makes perfect sense. They see you as the hero that's going to make a huge difference in their lives. Dude, this is where the juice comes from. This is also gives you the stick-to-itiveness to rise above the noise in the crowd. Plus, you're going to rise a lot faster because your story is so good, it's so clear, and it resonates with the people you're called to serve.
Nice.
That's part of it too. But everybody's down here. Oh, hey, how many emails you sending in the sequence once they buy so that I can move them to a different funnel stack? Hey, dummy, you don't even know who you're talking to. You know, these are the ones you ask, hey, who's your avatar? Oh, my avatar is middle-aged men between the ages of 43 and 48 with 1.2 wives and 2.3 kids. Now, 0.2 wives is one thing, but I always felt bad for that 1/3 of a child. And then they're making between 75,000 and 123,000 a year. And it's like, that's not a person, man. It's not a person, somebody you can connect with. And you've got to connect in order to make this work. Stu,
Yes.
how many people do you think are out there on the internet trying to sell stuff right now while they sleep?
A lot.
Gabillions.
Yes.
Okay. That's a real number, by the way. I learned that from ChatGPT. Gabillions. How many of them you think are actually making money? Not many. But have you ever seen somebody just appear out of nowhere and just all of a sudden they're everywhere?
Yes.
All of a sudden they're just everywhere. Their books being talked about. They're just there. It's like they skipped all the steps that everybody else is trying to go through. We've all seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think they're able to do that and other people aren't?
Well, they have their who figured out and their story.
And they got a hell of a story, because if you think about when every podcast they're on, they're telling that same story. Every news program they're on, they're telling that story. The beginning of their book is that story. The beginning of their webinar is that story. Their website is that story. Everything is that story. Everybody resonates with that story. And then they keep telling that story over and over and over and over and over. Did you ever pay attention to Tony Robbins over the years?
Oh, sure.
Sure. How many pounds overweight was Tony Robbins when he decided to make a change? 30 pounds overweight. He lost 30 pounds in 30 days. Okay. He was living in a 400 square foot bachelor apartment. Where was he washing his dishes? In the bathtub, because he didn't even have a sink in his room. Okay. He tells that story over and over and over and over and over and over and over, and has told that story for 50 freaking years. Okay. Why? Because the story works. It resonates with the who. Tony didn't ask, hey, someday I might be selling stuff on a Zoom meeting. No, he got real clear on the result. Unscrew your life. Then he figured out what the offer was. Personal power. Did you buy that 30-day personal power program?
I did not.
I did. It was pretty good. It was really good. That was the first real self-improvement program I ever went through. Point is this, guys. Y'all worried about this or what my offer is going to be. But if you really want to make money while you sleep, figure out the who. Figure out you. Figure out the who. And then my number one thing I would suggest that you do, get yourself a book and get yourself a course. And if you really held me up against the wall, like I love when people ask me, okay, Jim, if you had to start all over again, what would you do differently? Like if you had to start over, you had 30 days to start from scratch. No list, no this, no that. Okay. I'd get real clear on who I was going after. I'd get real clear on the result that I was going to help them get. I would make sure my story made sense, figure out what the offer was going to be, and then I'd actually create a course. And I would offer the course live. First time. I would offer the course live. I'd run around to everybody and their brother who had the ear of that audience, and I would either offer to have them do tickets, either free tickets, paid tickets. I'd figure out my funnel and stuff, but it would all be about a course. I don't have time to do a book and do a book tour and do all that other stuff. Okay. If I was truly starting from scratch, I would do a course and follow it up with a book. Here's a little key though. I could take the course and turn that into the book. That's what a lot of people do. Take your course, record the course, and turn the course into a book. So the real key here is get yourself a course quick, quick, quick. Two big reasons. One, you can charge more for a course than you can for a book. And number two, inherently, people believe that they can get a result from your 2-hour course faster than they can get a result of trying to sit down and read a book. Could be the exact same information in the book as in the course, but in their mind, I can watch the course. Maybe I can even watch it on like 1.5 speed and get to that result faster. So that's how you do it. That's how you make money while you sleep, Stu.
I love it.
So tell me a little bit about this course you set up, and then I want to show this Genie we got that will help you plan out a lesson module. Tell everybody the story of your latest course and what's been going on with that.
Well, like you just said, my books have really focused on the system of training. Like getting to the training needs to require some focus on a fitness test, kind of like as an entrance exam.
Mm-hmm.
Getting through the training means you got to focus on the specifics of that hard training that you're about to go through, boot camp, police academy, special ops selection, whatever that is. There's some specifics that challenge people. Otherwise, everybody would graduate.
Everybody would get a trophy.
Everybody would win, right?
Okay.
So I focus on what those specifics are, depending on what group I'm talking to, and then that's primarily my whole course. It's a 2-part course, about 80 minutes long, and it talks about getting to the training and through the training. And I specifically address one of the fitness tests that it involves a half a dozen different selection courses.
Okay. So your first course is basically taking this stuff with to and through the training and condensing it down from a couple hundred pages to 80 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. And has anybody bought it?
Yes. Yeah, it started in March 1st. Right after, by the way.
So 2.5 weeks ago.
Yes. And
okay.
Yeah, we sold over almost 20 at this point. 20
at what price? At what price point?
97.
Ooh. So $2,000.
Yes.
Okay. How many books do you have to sell in order to make $2,000?
About 100? No, 10. No, no, 100. Damn, 20. Yes. Sorry, my brain is.
This man has one of the finest college educations available.
Yes.
A graduate of the United States Naval Academy.
100 books.
100 books, and actually more than that if it's physical books, because there's fulfillment cost on the books and printing costs and all the other stuff. So could be 30 times as much as a paperback. Okay. So I didn't say that right either.
Yeah. My brain is.
It's a lot.
Yes, it's
okay.
More than I realized.
And you didn't really advertise this, did you yet? You haven't really.
Not yet. I haven't paid for any advertisement yet.
Okay.
But I have been advertising it by posting it and explaining to people what it is. And
sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So how long did it take you to record the 80-minute presentation?
80 minutes.
Okay. So this is I want y'all. No, it's like, how long does it take to shoot a 1-minute video, Stu? 1 minute.
1 minute.
So, all right. So 80 minutes to shoot it. And how much time did you put into preparing it? Honestly.
About an hour. About an hour. And oh, yeah, about an hour.
That's all? Okay.
I mean, it's stuff that I coached for 20 years. I mean,
Okay.
it
Oh.
rolled off the tongue.
Oh, you mean it's not just BS you heard on the internet? You're like, I'm just going to take my knowledge and
Uh,
share it with people in
y-
an organized way.
yes,
Okay.
that's exactly how I did it.
So let's say that you're completely full of crap, okay, and your math skills are no good. So that's 140 minutes. Let's just round it and say it took you 3 hours to do it.
Okay.
Okay. So 3 hours total. And then how long did it take you to put together the sales copy for it and all the other stuff, the listing and all that?
Not long at all because I used a genie.
Okay. So ish another
Um,
hour.
yeah, maybe another hour.
Okay. So now we're up to 4 hours.
And real quick, about
Yeah.
4 weeks ago, you gave a quick little synopsis because I asked you a question in one of these lives
Uh-huh.
about how do I post a video up that I want to keep it secure.
Right.
And you told me about Vimeo, and we talked about the YouTube option and all of that. So the a minute after we were done talking, I went to Vimeo, got it all set up, and now it's a thing. So
Nice. Okay.
yeah,
So 4 hours worth of work. You
yes,
haven't spent any money on ads because you
no,
have a following. Okay. So really, if we just take that $2,000 and divide that by 4, that so far this is a $500 an hour payday,
yes,
right?
nice.
So, but as you keep selling more and more and more, that just going to go all the way up. What I'm saying is this creating a course is one of the most highly leveraged things that you can do. All of us have knowledge. All of us know how to help people get a result. All of us know who we are. With some thought, we can figure out who we're supposed to serve. We can figure out our story. We can pick a result that they really want that's part of their customer journey. We can create that opportunity offer. We can create that vehicle. And then finally, with the delivery, we can make that happen lickety split.
Absolutely. And one thing too, I want to make clear is that you know 3 months ago, before we started talking about this course
Uh huh.
idea, and you bullying me into making a course,
Yeah.
um, I would have just called this a podcast and given it away for free.
Oh my goodness, Stu.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah.
serious. Think about it that way. So
Yeah.
if you're thinking about how hard is this course going to be, if you're making podcasts already, you're giving stuff away for free all the time.
Yep.
And just put one up on sale. See what happens.
Yep.
Not everybody has time to see what you're putting out for free.
And you know what, Stu? There's an easy button for that. So this is what we're going to do. We got a few minutes still. I want to show y'all the lesson plan module outline, Genie, and we need to create a demo video for it anyway, as we do. So I think a fitting end to this, which this training you're seeing here may end up doing exactly what Stu just said. Stu's always letting the cat out the bag. So I'm going to take over full screen, Stu. I'm going to do what we do to introduce the thing, and then when I get done showing it, then I will we'll hop on and we'll fill in the blanks. So, all righty, I just got to show my screen. All right. The lesson plan module outline, Genie. So here's the thing. You want to create a course, you want to create a masterclass, you want to create something with one lesson or something with multiple lessons. You need a way to quickly come up with your lesson plan as well as your module outline in order to be able to plan it out and then use that information to ultimately create the presentation. So the great thing about this Genie is that it's going to help you do that really, really fast. So what the lesson plan Module Outline Genie does is it asks you basic information about your audience, the immediate result that they want. Let's zoom in. The immediate result they want, huge problem they need to solve. Then it'll ask you their experience level, primary motivation trigger. Then you're going to give it the title of your lesson or your module for your masterclass or the bigger multi-part training you're going to do. What's the topic? Then the neat thing is in the description, you can give it a list of points that you know you want to cover, or you can simply give it a one-sentence description of what you'd like to teach in the lesson, either or anything in between. And it will take that and craft a lesson plan outline for you. So then you can also give it the specifics of how will this lesson be delivered, say a Zoom call, how long is the specific thing going to be, and then you can choose the level of detail. Then you click the build button, and in a couple of seconds, well, in less than 20 or 30 seconds, depending on network traffic, this is going to craft an entire lesson plan module outline for you. And this is actually one that I'm going to be teaching later on today live, but it creates the whole outline, and in this case, based on all of the things that I want to talk about. And if I don't like it, if I'm like, why don't you take another stab at this? Then I can just whack the button again. Once I'm happy with the lesson plan that it gives me, I can go down here. Look at that. It's even telling me if I want to keep it under 90 minutes, then it's telling me how long to spend in each section. Then what I can do is start building out the other parts of my presentation, which I can then use in the presentation constructor Genie, which will create all your slides and even workbooks. And so this is, here's the purpose of the presentation, what we covered, additional information. It'll create all your ancillary materials, a bunch of optional stuff that you can use to actually create an offer, build out an offer. And then specific talking points, it takes all of the points up above and it gives you specific talking points. So this is stuff that is nigh on close to just being ready to put straight into a PowerPoint slide deck. And then finally down here, let's say you do better in an interview or a podcast type format. This will generate specific questions that you could have somebody interview you to create the lesson if it's just easier, presentation skills aren't where you wanted, or if you wanted to use the podcast style, or you could interview someone else. So let's say you've got the audience or understand the audience, but you wanted to leverage somebody else's expertise. Then you can just download everything as a Word document. It's opening on another screen. I'll bring it up here so you can see it. And here's everything. So you can just do a quick edit pass. And then here's your presentation if you just want to print it off and teach it from your whiteboard, or you can turn all this stuff into a specific PowerPoint presentation using the presentation constructor Genie. So that is the lesson plan module outline Genie. Helps making planning your individual lessons, either standalone or as part of a multi-part course, makes it super easy, fast, and fun. Stu, any questions or thoughts?
No, that was like perfect.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I like that. I like the simplicity of creating it, and all I need is an outline that makes sense. And for me, that made a lot of sense. And even though I already know what I'm going to say, having an outline that reminds me of what I need to say is what that just did.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So I think that's it for today. I think we've done our thing. By the way, that Genie that I just demonstrated is available inside of copyandcontent.ai. as of the time of this recording, we're smack dab in the middle of doing our legacy offer challenge, how to create a course that you can sell 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That is going to be part of what we're doing going forward. So might be an offer for it around here somewhere. I don't know. But if you want to make money while you sleep, you got to have a course. That is going to be the fastest way for you to go from 0 to 100 miles an hour. So Stu, I think our work here is done. Check us out at copyandcontent.ai, and we'll talk to you soon.